Hi everyone, and a big warm welcome to the studio. Today we're going to focus on sustainability, and we will also cover some more exciting and interesting topics within this coming 30 minutes. But first, let's kick off this session together with our Chief Purchasing Officer, Andrea Fuder, on the current state of affairs. Hi Andrea.
Hi Victor.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Before we get deeper into sustainability, any short reflections from you on the current state of affairs?
Well, I think we continue to deliver strong results. And of course, this is a lot thanks to the great collaboration with our supply partners. And the work continues because we still have a high customer demand and our order books are full. However, moving forward, given the situation of unpredictables with geopolitical situation, with interest rate increase, with inflation, with impact from climate events, we have to continue to monitor the situation closely. And you know, last time in the studio I said there are clouds on the sky. I think now we see that these clouds are getting bigger and are coming closer.
For sure. What does this mean for our supply partners, and how can we prepare together?
It's a good question, but I think in a way we have to continue what we are doing. We have to continue this close transparency and communication with our supply partners. That's key, and by this we can really protect ourselves for all these challenges, but we can also catch together opportunities. And we together we have to understand how can we prepare this business cycle. But you know, one thing what we can not forget is that now it's also important that we gear up for the future, and that we now have to take the steps for the big transformation journey we are in.
Yes, absolutely. And talking about sustainability, it is the overarching theme of our session today. What are your reflections on sustainability from a business perspective?
Like I said before, I think it doesn't really matter what happens now short term. We cannot lose sight of the long-term strategy. This is always important to remember, and regardless of anything happening now, we have to do what is needed for the future to decarbonize, to protect resources and people in our value chain. And this has to start now. We cannot lose any time, and we should not only do it because we think it's the right thing to do, it also makes complete business sense, because sustainable products, this is where the growth is happening. There is little doubt that transport and infrastructure plays an important role in society, in economic development, and in driving prosperity.
And what would you like to see from our supply partners here?
It's not only what I like to see, I have to be quite clear. What I expect to see is that our supply partners start their decarbonization plans, that they think circular, and that they protect human rights, thinking about the people in the value chain. And it's also important that it starts here and now. And as this is a big challenge, we have, of course, to do it together. If anyone needed still a proof that climate change is real, I think we should just remember this summer, where we have seen a lot of droughts, fires, temperature records. So it's important that we take action now.
And how do you envisage sustainability becoming even more important to us within purchasing in the future?
Of course, we will only work together with like-minded players in the ecosystem who really ensure that the transformation is happening and really with high pace. They should share the same values on sustainability, and it will be definitely a big important part of how we select partners. Additionally, we also have to understand the purchasing power. The requirements we put into the markets will be cascaded down, and it will change a lot. And therefore I'm also super happy with this initiative from the World Economic Forum, the First Movers Coalition, where this is the core purchasing power to be used wisely for the transformation. So, Victor, together, if we work together hand in hand, we can make a big difference.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And now, let's dig a bit deeper into sustainability together with Karin Svensson and Linn Fortgens. Karin, great to have you here. Can you share an overview of Volvo Group's sustainability ambitions?
Thank you for having me. As you heard Andrea said, the need for transportation is continuously increasing. And that need has to be met with substantially more sustainable solutions. That is why we have a long-term ambition that our solutions should be 100% safe, 100% fossil-free and 100% more productive.
And what then is the strategy to reach these ambitions?
We have a strategy that is set on 3 pillars. We talk about climate, resources and people. And if I start with climate, and I start with that because it's really the challenge of our generation. As a global company, we have right now a fantastic opportunity to help our customers and society to decarbonize the transport system. We have a clear roadmap in place to achieve these targets, and we have already made good progress. We have been able to take down emissions from air pollutants with over 90% and to decrease fuel consumption and emissions from CO2 with 40%. But it's more work to be done, and we want to accelerate into a green platform. One of the key elements for that is really the broad introduction of electric vehicles. We have been delivering electric buses for over 10 years. We have today been delivering electric trucks and machines, and they are operating successfully at our customers. We have a target in 2030 that 35% of all new vehicles and machines that are being sold globally should be electric.
And then what about resources and people?
As you can understand, sustainability is not only about decreasing our climate footprint. It's also about how we use valuable resources and how we treat one another as people. As we need the world's resources to be used much more efficiently, it's important that we from the start design out waste and pollution, and that we make sure that material and products can be kept longer in the use phase. With safety, in the same way as with the environment, it's important that we take a full value chain approach. We have a target to reduce our accidents in our own operations with 50% until 2030. And we also have a safety mindset as the foundation for health, non-discrimination and other human rights aspects.
And Linn, what does this mean for purchasing?
Well, the short answer, Victor, is that it means a lot. So everything that we have as ambitions in our sustainability strategy is, of course, to be achieved in a connected ecosystem across the full value chain. And this is why it's so important that we select supply partners that have the same view of the world as we do within Volvo Group when it comes to achieving sustainability ambitions.
Yeah. And what will it take to achieve these ambitions?
Well, the ambitions are, of course, bold, as they should be. meaning that if you take the example of net zero by 2040, it's important that our supply partners also have clear decarbonization plans in place, starting of course already now. A good example is the shift to fossil-free steel, but of course this needs to happen across all of the components and materials that we have in our products. Taking also into account the shift to electromobility, this means that we're adding emissions upstreams. This is of course also something that we need to address and have clear plans to abate and decarbonize. And additionally, we're also dealing with sensitive raw materials at much larger scale in our batteries. So I would also like to bring the component in of ensuring human rights and people across the full value chain when it comes to that aspect. Circularity will help, of course, from a decarbonization perspective, and is also an important piece of the puzzle when it comes to value retention, of course. And then we will also see that the sustainability requirements set in the supply partner selection will increase over time, because of course this is a big shift that we're doing together. And this will include emission targets, for example. Luckily, this is something that we're doing together, and we will of course partner up together with our supply partners to achieve this and make sure that we build solutions that are sustainable for the future together.
We are for sure on an exciting journey on this. Thank you so much for sharing, Karin and Linn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we're going to look a bit deeper into big yellow machines made out of fossil-free steel. Andrea met with Melker Jernberg discussing the transformation journey at Volvo Construction Equipment.
Hey Melker, so great to have you here.
Hey Andrea, super nice to be here.
Melker, Volvo Construction Equipment is for real on a transformation journey in many aspects. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a diverse journey. It's a lot of things going on. But to start with, I think as a world-leading manufacturer of construction equipment and solutions, we would like to drive the change in our industry towards the net zero emissions. And of course also help our customers to decarbonize their operations. And I think we have a big responsibility for the CO2 footprint. And as you know, both Volvo Group and Volvo CE, we have a target of being fossil-free in the whole value chain by 2040. I mean, I think it's important to make the change because we want to make the change, not only because we must. And it's important. And just to take some examples, 2007, we had our first CO2-free plant into operation. And 2019, we were quite early out and we committed to an electrified future for our compact range. And I think the electrified products and also other sustainable power solutions will be extremely important for our industry going forward. So today we have already 6 machines ready and for sales, and more to come.
Quite nice to hear that. But is the market really ready for this transformation?
Yeah. I think that's a super good question, and of course something we try to dig into. And I think the answer is it's very different between segments, different between customers, and different between different countries and markets, but clearly accelerating. And we have so many customers and so many companies that would like to talk to us, and they need our support, they need our machines, they need our services, and they need our solutions in the journey that they are doing already today.
And talking about the excitement of this transformation, you brought a very nice clip with you. So I propose that we will watch that together.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very special event.
It's a proud day to be here together. Tangible results. We have just getting started. We have much more to be done. But this is a sign of shaping the world that we want to live in.
We'll reveal the first vehicle built using fossil-free steel, which will be delivered today to the first customer. It's fantastic.
So this is from me, from my fantastic team at Volvo CE and the team at the Brodie side that actually built this machine to you. So, and of course, this is made of fossil-free steel.
This is an event. This is a happening. This is a moment in which we can really measure tangible progress, a huge step forward. This announcement today will make headlines around the world.
Melka, that clip was really fantastic and impressive. Can you tell us a little bit about the background of this clip?
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I think this journey is not only about electrification and the tailpipe emissions. It's about reduction of the carbon footprint in the whole value chain. And then obviously we're coming into the raw material and all material we use in our products. And for our products, steel is a big part. So actually just before summer, we had a handover of the world first machine ever built with fossil-free steel. And we were obviously then helped by John Kerry.
As we saw in the clip.
And also Annika Strandhäll, the Minister of Climate. But I think what was my learning from this was that to be able to make a change, you need to do things together. And this was clearly together with the customer, and in this case also the supplier of the steel, SSAB, and that was warm.
And talking about supply partner, of course I have to ask you, what is your message to our supply network out there watching us today?
I think first I would like to thank you all for the hard work and all the things you have been doing the past years. It has been tough, it is tough, and it will continue to be tough. Secondly, I think the world is changing. We all need to think about risk mitigation. We all need to think about how to secure volumes, capacity, and also where to have the capacity. And I think we all have a lot of learnings to do from the past years. And last but not least, going forward, I think we know that we will need your support when it comes to innovation, but also when it comes to continuous improvements. And I think it's all about collaboration, partnership, transparency. We are in this together.
Melka, thank you so much for sharing the really inspiring journey of Volvo Construction Equipment, and thank you for the fantastic work your team is doing.
Thank you, Andrea. Thanks.
And now we're going to talk about another important part of the puzzle when it comes to sustainability. Electrification, together with Jessica Sandström, Aurelien Brodie and Rédha Messaoui. Jessica, from a Volvo Trucks perspective, what can you share about the market outlook on electric trucks?
We see a strong growing demand. Many customers go from talking about the future into action and placing orders. So it's a great development the last years.
And what would you say have been the success factors in this case?
So far, I think we made up our mind early. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. And that meant that we also worked with creating the market. So we are working with spreading the awareness, finding the customers, showing what's possible to do here and now, but also creating a comprehensive offer to the customer to help them through this journey. And of course, we have great products.
Perfect. And Rédha, what does this mean for our supply partners?
I think what Jessica was into a minute ago is very much what we call the S-curve. We need to understand that the volume growth we have in front of us is enormous, which create a number of opportunities in front of us. For our supply partners, what does it mean together with us? It means, of course, intimacy, working very close to each other, really understanding that we are moving away from low volume environment into high volumes, increasing year over year quite drastically. And of course, implementing a lot of the good automotive standards we have, both in quality, cost, capacity and features. It's also a matter of bringing the right solutions at the right time in a very dynamic environment so we stay ahead of the competition. Ultimately, if you think mid-long term, it's also a matter of being very close when it comes to investing further into our footprint at the right time, so we secure that we stay ahead of the S-curve.
Absolutely. So Jessica, what would be the key for continued success going forward?
I think Rédha have already been into it, but I mean, we need to continue to grow with our customers. We are on a journey, and today we can address certain segments and certain markets. But to be able to make this complete transformation, we need to continue to add segments and add markets over time. We will do this by improving the features, but also working with the cost. And last, we also need to do this in a timely manner, because we have expectation from our customers, but also for us to keep the leading position that we actually have. And for the planet, because we need to transform here now.
And Aurelien, how can our supply partners support this agenda?
Well, it's all about securing the right level of competitiveness and securing that we deliver in project management in the ramp-up. So together with our supply partner, we have the mandate to deliver on time. The second aspect is also looking into the multiple partnerships that we have with our supply partners, and to see how we can better capture innovation in our platforms, in our products. This means works transparently. This means also exchanging on our technical roadmaps, but also aligning them and securing that we accelerate their implementation. One very important thing that we're working on right now as well is to elaborate those partnerships not only at a tier 1 level of the supply chain, but at multiple depth into the supply chain. This is how we create and maintain this competitive advantage.
And coming back on the growing demand, what is actually creating this growth as you see it?
Jessica talked about it. Sustainable solutions are so important for our society and our customers. It drives demand, right? But it also drives different type of activities from, for example, a transport buyer. Today, they will be looking for more transparency on CO2 footprint, but also for clearer action plans to reduce this footprint and make it happen, right? It drives this change of behavior and this request on our products, our services, transports, or the buyer's own transportation system. This actually drives significant investments in transformation of those companies. And like you stated, Jessica, this pull on sustainability is happening at multiple customers that are evolving in multiple environments and very complex environments. Which means that for us, with this variety of applications, we need to secure that we accommodate the variety of demands, but also offer different applications to suit their needs in a timely manner.
Sustainability is important from several dimensions, as we heard previously from Andrea, Linn and Karin today. But there are also incentives, Jessica.
Absolutely, and we see that many countries are really supporting this journey. So for instance, in Germany, you get substantial support from the government, both for the truck and the charging infrastructure. So it means that already today, you can actually run with less cost an electric truck compared to buying a diesel truck. And this is spreading. We see this type of initiative in many, many markets. So I think we are in the beginning of the S-curve, and it will accelerate quick.
For sure. Rédha?
Yeah, I think what was Jessica into is very important to understand. I mean, many companies and more companies are committing to Science-Based Targets initiative, setting their own targets in light of their operations profile. And of course, I mean, the more granular you are into this exercise, the more you will get and to understand that your transport operations are actually potentially a very big CO2 driver of your profile SBTI-wise. And once you have realized that, of course, you want to turn to us, of course, to decarbonize your operations and your transport operations, and then move into zero-emission vehicles moving forward, which, of course, is a great opportunity for us to collaborate and support and also accelerate even further the S-curve. Huh? But it also means a number of things for our supply partners, and many supply partners are also committing to SBTI. Aurelien, some words?
You're absolutely right, Rédha. We see a significant trend in our supply partners. They are committing more and more to the Science-Based Target initiative. And this is really an enabler for us when partnering up, because we are sharing the same values, which means that we can really align our ambitions with them in a swift and agile way. But also we can set clear targets, align targets, and very successful implementation plans to secure the full decarbonization of our supply chain. But I think we need also to understand that our supply partner need to focus, of course, on climate, but the two other important pillars of sustainability as well, meaning people and resource.
From a partner perspective, why is Volvo Group the partner of choice in this transformation?
Victor, I think it's a great question, and I can talk hours actually about this topic. but I think, in short, it's very important, to understand that the ways of working are evolving a lot in light of the complexity we had in front of us. Technology-wise, market-wise, accelerating, industrial footprint-wise, sustainability-wise, and so on and so forth. And of course, we need to make sure that we are, again, intimate, dealing with our partners for the long term, sharing the risks, sharing the benefits together, creating new ways of working and new business models. So we, at the end of the day, create a win-win situation that will benefit for our supply partners, ourselves, and of course, customers ultimately. But Victor, I suggest that we keep a little bit this topic in our mind and come back in a further studio occasion to discuss this a bit further.
We have now come to the end of this broadcast. Don't worry if you missed anything, this session has been recorded and we will share the link to the video with you in the coming days. And we're already now planning for the next studio session coming in Q4, so stay tuned for that. So thank you for joining, stay safe, and until we see you next time.